be the wizard and I. Hey there, it's Bobi, aka Paginator, and it is our 31 Books in 31 Days Challenge Part 3. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised I've made it this far. So last I left you off, it was Sunday afternoon, and I had read about 100-ish pages in The Peach Rebellion. Here, I'll hold on this side. There's more room over there. And I have read quite a bit more. I'm really, really getting sucked into it. So, in order to avoid spoilers too much, I want to say that there's still some drama going on with this boy that tried to kiss Peggy, and she's kind of shoved him aside and like, I got bigger things to worry about. But her best friend Lizette is still like crushing on the same boy pretty hard. So there's a little bit of drama involving that, but mostly the plot is centered around Ginny Rose and Peggy deciding to work together to move her little brothers into the cemetery. They're both also at the same time dealing with other family issues. Ginny Rose's mom is really obviously struggling with mental health issues, partly due to the grief of losing her sons, but it's been 11 years, so there's something more going on than grief. Because not to suggest that parents would ever get over the loss of their child, but that you can just tell by the way the mom acts, there's some severe mood shifts and stuff. There's something deeper there, maybe a little bit bipolar or something else. So there's that. And then Peggy, of course, is dealing with the drama of her family farm and how her parents are still just not like willing to budge. No, it's all going to the brother, and you're going to get paid like this tiny little pittance of allowance that is less than what your friend makes slaving at the factory. And you know, like, there's that. But then the girls really want to come together and do this task of getting those little boys moved to a proper cemetery. And I will share one thing that Peggy does, which is really smart. She goes to the pastor's wife at the local church and says, can you please help us raise money for these two little boys? You can't tell anybody their names. I'm not even going to tell you their names, but here's the story, and we really need to get them moved into the Babyland part of the cemetery. And the pastor's wife agrees to help, and they're going to be doing a fundraiser, and someone in the community hears about it, and they're able to do a beautiful piece of art about the two little boys and stuff to help, you know, catch people's attention and stuff. So the problem is that Ginny Rose, who the little brothers belong to, her parents have no idea what's going on. She wants to do it to help her mom heal. She feels like that's going to help her mom like get better and not have these dark moods, as she calls them. But she's also really worried that her dad's going to be absolutely furious. And anyway, yeah. So I'm on page 284 right now, and there's 402 pages, I think. So I don't know if I'll finish it today. I hope I can finish it today. I have to go run some errands. I have like to pick up a prescription at the pharmacy, and I need to go over to the school and upload a couple videos. My 31 Books in 31 Days Part 2 video, which will already be out by the time you've seen this, was supposed to be up at 6 o'clock this morning, Monday the 14th of July. But the internet at my house is so slow that after 6 hours of trying to upload the video, it still had done like 10%. Like, no. I'm just going to go to the school and use the faster internet there. It'll be fine. So, gonna go do some of those things, and then come back and read, and maybe do some crafting, because I am much more in a crafting mood these days. But we'll see. So, yeah. Stay with me for this week, and we'll see how much we can get read for our 31 Books in 31 Days. Okay, it's me checking in again. I have now finished this book, and I'm very glad that I stuck with it, because it just keeps getting better and better. I told you about our three girls. Only two of them narrate chapters, but the third one is an important part of the story as well. So we had Ginny Rose and Peggy and Lizette, and quest to bring back Ginny Rose's baby brothers stuff was the main goal of the last chunk of the book. And I'm not going to explain how that all went down because I don't want to like tell you the entire plot. You should read it for yourself. So if you're looking for historical fiction, I would recommend this. I ran it through Copile and it is 4 stars for me. And I'm very glad I read it. I am going to take it to my classroom and recommend it for my students as well. And I went to my little TBR shelf for my official July TBR and picked up this one. So I'm going to be starting The Fairfleet Affair. This is by K.H. Saxton, and I read to you the synopsis when I did my July TBR game, but I have forgotten most of that since then, so let's reread it. The celebrated museums of the Fairfleet Institute are known for curating the mysteries of humanity, but they don't solve mysteries. Luckily, 12-year-old friends Alex Foster and Asha Singh of the A&A Detective Agency do, or they will once they get a real case to test their skills. When Dr. Alistair Fairfleet, the Institute's eccentric chairman, disappears on the first day of Alex and Asha's summer vacation, they receive a letter written by the missing millionaire inviting them to a mystery involving complicated clues and puzzles. It is just the case they've been waiting to tackle, and as the kids track down clues, they uncover art forgeries, archaeological crimes, and Fairfleet family secrets. Alex and Asha's partnership is tested, and they are forced to confront the legacies of the people and places they admire most. So this should be a fun middle grade mystery book, and we'll see what happens from there. I might also pick up Witch Hat Atelier soon because I have volume 1 on my Kindle, and that's also part of my July TBR. I don't know, I have a lot of options. Also on my Kindle I have Release, which is the sequel to Stolen that I talked to you about in part 2 of this series. Yeah, I have a lot of choices, so we'll just see what happens, I guess, and go from there. But definitely going to start this one. I'm going to go get it set up in my bullet journal right now and start reading. Hey there, it's Tuesday afternoon. It's about 3 o'clock-ish, and I have done a little bit of audiobook listening and a little bit of physical reading. I'm also making some collage fodder and coffee dyeing paper, so I smell like coffee because after I did a first coat on the coffee dyeing paper, I took a pastry brush and dipped it in the coffee and just splat, splat, splat on top, and of course got some coffee splatters on my shirt. That's lovely. But anyway, let's talk about reading. So for audiobook, I've been listening to Written in Starlight by Isabella Banez. This is a sequel to Woven in Moonlight, and I am going to read you the synopsis. I don't usually on sequels, but I feel like they followed 2 different characters, so they kind of have separate stories. This is what it says. Catalina Quiroga is a Condesa without a country. She's lost the Incasia throne, the loyalty of her people, and her best friend. Banished to the perilous Yanu jungle, Carolina knows her chances of survival are slim, but that won't stop her from trying to escape. Her duty is to rule. While running for her life, Carolina is rescued by Manuel, the son of her former general who has spent years searching for allies. With this help, Carolina could find the city of gold that's home to the fierce Ilari people and strike a deal with them for an army to retake her throne. But the elusive Ilari are fighting a battle of their own. A mysterious blight is corrupting the jungle, laying waste to everything they hold dear. As a seer, Catalina should be able to help, but her ability to read the future and the stars is as feeble as her survival instincts. While on her journey, Catalina must reckon with her duty and her heart to find her true calling, which is the key to stopping the corruption before it destroys the jungle completely. So I'm about 32% or so into this audiobook, and Catalina and Manuel are journeying into the jungle. They're looking for this group, the Ilari people, and where I have just paused it, they have seen blood-sucking butterflies over their heads. Blood-sucking butterflies! It's terrifying. Because, I mean, butterflies are meant to be cute and pretty and beautiful and just, like, symbol of change and all these beautiful, hopeful things. But these ones suck your blood. Ah. But I'm enjoying it so far. I have been taking it just a little bit at a time because I mostly turn it on when I'm doing the crafting, and then I'll switch back and forth between that and physical reading and, yeah. Physical reading, I am reading the Fairfleet Affair, which I started yesterday, and I'm thinking that it would be fun to finish it today because it's the 15th as I'm filming, and the main characters in this book have a deadline of July 15th. So I think that would be kind of fun to finish it then, but if I can't, then it's not a big deal. It's only a 200 and something page book, so I should be able to finish it today. So Alex and Asha, along with 4 other recipients, have received information from Dr. Fairfleet before he disappeared. And Alex and Asha were kind of sent like courtesy copies of everything because he's has invested in their detective agency. He's their primary investor, and we get the idea, only investor, kind of just kids that he's kind of taken under his wing. And the other 4 people that have gotten this information, before he disappeared, they each get the same letter. And I'm going to read to you one of the paragraphs. It says, the 2 of you share a secret that has been kept in the shadows for too long. One of you will succeed me as the chair of the Fairfleet Institute, and one of you, alas, is responsible for my sudden disappearance. To find out who is who and which is which, you will have to follow the trail I've left. Your first clue is enclosed in your envelope. So 2 of the 4 people share a secret. One person is going to take over for him, and then the 4th person is going to end up being responsible for his disappearance. And this Fairfleet Institute has many different wings underneath it. So all of these people are like directors of individual things already. For example, like the Natural History Museum. They have like art museums and many different things within the umbrella of the Fairfleet Institute. So Alex and Asha are just like the kid detectives that are trying to solve this mystery by July 15th to figure out why he went missing. And I have read the prologue in 3 chapters, so I'm 72 pages in, and we found some intriguing clues. Shakespeare's King Lear is involved in this story somehow, which is kind of fitting because King Lear is about this, like, very loosely, in loose terms, it's about a king who puts his faith in the wrong people to pass his crown onto. So maybe Dr. Fairfleet is comparing himself to King Lear. I don't know. But Alex and Asha have just learned that there's going to be a performance of King Lear as part of like this Shakespeare in the Park thing. And they have decided that they need to go audition and see who's involved with that and if they can find any clues there. So I will keep reading when they go to their audition. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. My main plan for today is just to keep reading and finish up making my collage fodder. Louisa Heinzel did a video playing with coffee dyed paper recently that I'm trying. I've done some stamping and some coffee splashes. I'm going to be doing some splats of white paint on some, and she put rust water on hers. I don't have any rust water, but maybe we'll see if we can find some other things to play with and just make some fun collage fodder, which I might take with me to the She Who Creates event with Barbara in September, because we're supposed to bring like scraps of paper, and that we have a whole list of stuff to bring. But anyway, yeah, so reading and some crafting for me. Hope you're having a good day, and we'll see you in a little while. Hey again, it's Tuesday evening, about 8:30-ish, and it's time for another reading check-in. I have finished the Fairfleet Affair. It was all right. I ended up giving it 3 stars when I ran it through Compile. I was really, really intrigued at the beginning, and then I just started to like lose interest. And then when we get to the part where the kids solve the mystery, it was kind of like, really? That was it? That's what the whole thing has been leading toward? It was kind of a letdown. So it wasn't my favorite. Yeah, but it was okay. In terms of the audiobook, I haven't listened to any more yet, other than like just a couple of minutes. I wanted to see what happened with the blood-sucking butterflies. Catalina and Manuel, like, they just start running, and before they take off, she thinks that she sees a young girl in the forest who then transforms into one of the butterflies. So that could turn into something later, I suppose, but they just kind of took off running to seek shelter or something to hide in, and then I stopped listening. So I'm going to pick up again because I really need to do some cleaning. and such before I go to bed tonight. So I guess I'll go work on that, even though I'm not really wanting to. Oh, I was gonna also let you guys know I got some interesting news. So there is a young adult / middle grade book awards committee in the state of Wyoming, and there is a possibility that a spot might be opening up for me on the committee this spring. A lady called me and said, we're interested in maybe having you join in the springtime, and you'll need to join this organization and stuff. Make sure you have a membership to be qualified to be on the committee, but we like how you read so much and we'd love to have you. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'll come back and check in later, probably tomorrow, unless something really drastically changes. But yeah, for now, we are on the 15th of July, and I've read 17 books, so that's good. I know of at least one person who's totally kicking my butt, Lindsay. It's already like read over 20, but you know what? That's okay. We're all on our own reading journey here. Yeah, so we'll see you guys in a little while. Hello, it's Thursday evening. I did not add anything yesterday, Wednesday, because I just really didn't read much at all. I read a dozen or so pages in A Darker Shade of Magic, got that book started. But otherwise I was like sorting craft stuff and watching movies and things, and I just was not in reading mode. But today I finished an audiobook as I was continuing to work on cleaning and stuff. I'm trying to do like a ruthless unhaul of craft supplies because I have a thrifting problem and I keep buying stuff that I don't need. So anyway, finished this audiobook. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I really, really enjoyed the first book in this duology, which was Woven in Moonlight. I just didn't care for this one as much. I found myself like not really focusing and not caring that I had missed stuff, and I don't know, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I did think the blood-sucking butterflies were interesting that I mentioned before. But I mean, overall, it was very tropey and very predictable of what was going to happen, and so it just wasn't for me. If you read it and loved it, I'm very, very glad. Because I do love this author. Like, everything else I've read by her, I really, really liked. Just not this particular one. I have made some collage fodder. I think I mentioned that in my last check-in, whatever. I'll show you a couple of the pages. So I had copied out some paper and then did some paint splatters and then like extra layers of coffee, and I did mostly neutral things. A couple of pages have turquoise on them, but everything else is like black and white and coffee colored. So those were fun to make. Other crafting things I have going, I've got several junk journals that I'm kind of in the middle of making. I kind of like stalled out. I have a circus one that's in progress. I have a steampunk one that's in progress. I have loads of stuff for Harry Potter junk journals. I have enough stuff to make probably a couple of those. But I haven't started that yet. I want to finish the ones that I have started first. Yeah, and then move on. I've got ideas for lots of junk journals, so I just need to like work. I do have another audiobook lined up, and it is the audiobook version of this book here, The Underwood Tapes. This was on my TBR a month or 2 ago, and I started it and then just kind of stalled out, so I'm going to try listening to it and see if that can help get me through it. And physical reading, like I said, I started A Darker Shade of Magic, but I'm barely just getting into it, figuring out what's going on. I'm still not sure I understand the difference between gray London and white London and red London. I'm still trying to figure all that stuff out. So, yeah, I'll update you with more thoughts on that book as I continue to read. And I think that's it for this installment. So I'll check in a little while, and hope you're having a nice day. Hello, I'm checking in on Friday, and I have just finished the audiobook of The Underwood Tapes. I really, really enjoyed it. It came out at 4 stars in Compile. I thought it would be higher, but also I found myself like marking down a couple of categories because there was something that I really wanted to have happened in the book that didn't happen. But setting that aside, still very, very enjoyable, and I would recommend. It is a young adult mystery. There's no smut in it at all, which is refreshing. And we have kind of a paranormal element to it, kind of maybe magical realism would be a genre classification. So our main character is Grace, and she goes back to her mom's hometown, Hermitage, Florida, to stay with her uncle. Her mom passed away a while ago, and she's staying with her uncle and her grandpa, who's suffering from dementia. And she is spending the summer transcribing cassette tapes for the Historical Society. And she hears the voice of this boy, Jake Underwood, who is recording information about paper documents, artifacts, and things on some tapes. And there's this set of tapes that are labeled the Underwood tapes. So ones that Jake recorded, right? And something strange happens. Grace spontaneously decides to just record a bit of something on one of the tapes herself, because there's some blank parts of the tapes, and she just says this is Grace and gives a little bit of information about when and where she's recording from. Just, I'm here. Just kind of on a whim, decides to do that. And then the next time she puts a tape in, she hears Jake's voice going, this is weird. I heard somebody named Grace talking on the tape. And so they figure out that he is back in 1991, and she's in 2022, and they're able to communicate on these cassette tapes. And Grace also knows that when there are no more tapes, so there's only about 30 of them, I think, she won't be able to talk to Jake anymore. He's investigating something called the Hurricane Club, and he's trying to figure out what that is because he's heard references to it. His father has died. He's on his own. His uncle died in a tragic accident of some kind in a hurricane in the past, and there's just some secrets about these things. So he's trying to figure out on his end what's going on. She's trying to research about Jake's family, but also about Jake on her end, and they develop this friendship. It's so crazy. And so there was something that I really wanted to happen, and it didn't. And I still really, really enjoyed the book. I will be thinking about this. I am going to jump right into another book, but I will be thinking about this one for a while. Yeah, I really want to tell you even the thing that I wanted to have happen, but then I thought, oh, maybe that will spoil something too. So I'll just leave it at that and say, read the book or listen to it on Libby. It was a well done audiobook, and yeah. So the next audiobook that I'm popping into is Imagine Me, which is the number 6 book in the Shatter Me series. So I will read to you the synopsis of the first one. There's way too much that happens for me to explain what's going to go on in the 6th book. But in the first one, no one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she finally discovers the strength to fight back for the very first time, and to find a future within the one boy she'd lost forever. In this electrifying debut, Tahira Mafi presents a riveting dystopian world, a thrilling superhero story, and an unforgettable heroine. So we start with Juliet, who, can kill people with her touch. And then it goes to Unravel Me and so on through the series until we get to Imagine Me, which is where I'm at now. And it has been ages since I read the rest of the series. So maybe before I really get started on the audiobook, I should read some recaps. Let me take a moment to tell you about a good website. This is my favorite website to read recaps on. It's called Recaptains. I'll put the name of it down here for you. They do very good synopsis, including spoilers if you need to reread something or review the plot of something before moving on to the next book, so on. The only problem is they don't have all the books in the world. So if you can find a book that they do have, then it's fantastic. And I'm pretty sure that they have the Shatter Me series on there. but I'm going to have to double check. So if I can find some good summaries either on Recaptains or somewhere else, then I will do that before I get too deep in the audiobook. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for this update. Still have a few hours left in the day. It's rained a little tiny bit today, and we really need more rain, so I'm like hoping that we'll get some more, but yeah, not much else in the way of news. I made a chicken wrap for dinner and did a whole bunch of crafting and dyed my fingers orange. I don't know what else to tell you. So anyway, yeah, we'll see you when I come back, and hope you're getting some good reading done.
It's raining! Can you see that? Oh, this makes me so happy.
Hello, it is Saturday morning, and I was up last night, just kept rolling on junk journaling and stuff, and so I listened to all of Imagine Me. Now you might be wondering how. Did I stay up too late? Did I up the speed? Yes to both. I think it was like 1:30 by the time I was asleep or fell asleep, but anyway, I listened to both of the audiobooks that I did yesterday on 3 times speed. And some people might be thinking, do you even know what the story is about? Yes. Part of this, I sat and like held the book open. I took a break from crafting for about 20 minutes and read along with the book. I don't know, some books I can do that fast and some books I can't. It depends on the narrator and how fast they originally speak and stuff. I don't default to go that fast, but after I'd finished the Underwood tapes, I just didn't change the speed. So it was already on 3 times speed with Imagine Me, so I thought I'll try it. It was fine. So we powered through 2 audiobooks yesterday. That was crazy. Because this is the 6th book in a series, again, I don't want to go too deep into plot events. What I can tell you, because I read the synopsis of the first one, Shatter Me, to you yesterday, and we learned about Juliet, who can kill people with her touch and things. Through the series, there is a love triangle. That gets resolved pretty early on in the series. We learn who it is that she wants to be with. And then we have some bad guys established, one of which is Warner's father. Warner is one of the guys in the love triangle. Adam is the other one. Team Warner all the way. Since he walked onto the page in the first book, like, it was kind of a Rhys-Anne moment. If you know the Core of Thorns and Roses series, as soon as Rhys walked in and was like, "Hello, Feyre, darling," I was like, oh, hello. Who's this guy? I like him already. Same thing with Warner in this series. Just immediately was drawn to his side of things. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Warner's father is the big baddie in the series, and things get wrapped up with that. I don't know. I'm struggling to tell you because there's so much going on in this whole series about the dystopian world that they're in, and like the reestablishment is the governing body that needs to be taken out. And yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you a whole lot other than this was a beautiful book. It's also visually beautiful. I mean, look at that. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of driving. I have to go to Walmart again. I tend to go once a week or so. And yeah, I've got some things I need to pick up there. Not anything too exciting. I am not going to be buying any craft supplies or thrifting, anything like that, or book shopping. So I will not take the camera with me. But I do have a couple of audiobooks on Libby. So I think I'm going to go with A Temptation of Magic. And I have a physical copy of that because it came in a fairy loot, I think. Okay, so here is the book, The Temptation of Magic. There's the beautiful edges right there. And let's read the synopsis. As an Imperial, Nicole has the ability to kill any deadly supernatural, but if her power ever awakened, the Wake, the organization that governs the supernaturals, would force her to be their loyal huntress, or kill her like they did her mother. To stay safe, Nicole hides in a small university town, convinced that the mythological art collection at a local manor contains final message from her mother. But before she can study it, Kyan McCarter, the Wake's most skilled Imperial, arrives on his own hunt. When Nicole and Kyan discover that Kyan's prey has stolen a painting for leverage, they're forced to work together. As the creature threatens to expose Nicole's powers, her tenuous alliance with Kyan threatens her heart. If her true identity is revealed, Kyan will hunt her next. No one disobeys the Wake and survives, especially when the art they're seeking unveils the conspiracy that would change the lives of creatures and humans forever. But Nicole may only be able to resist one, her wicked impulses or a love that could repaint her world. And after facing a life of hiding her true nature, who could resist the temptation of magic? I'm going to show you the end papers on the front of the book. Here she is in a library. There's some interesting paintings. It's very dark academia, moody kind of situation. At least the vibes from that artwork is what I'm getting there. And then the end papers in the back, I think, are going to be Kyan, which is spelled like Ryan with a K instead of an R, Kyan. There he is as well. He looks very moody and broody, doesn't he? Okay, so we'll give this one a try. And as far as physical reading goes, I'm really in crafting mode right now, so I'm not doing a whole lot of physical reading, which makes me feel bad. But I'm still reading. Still moving towards my goal of 31 books in 31 days. So we're okay. All right. So yeah, I'm going to go head off on my errands and we'll see you later. Good morning. It's Sunday morning, and that means we're going to wrap up this part of the vlog, part 3. I meant to update, I had 100% intended to sit on an update before I went to bed last night, and then for whatever reason it just slipped my mind until I was all cozy in my spot in my bed and already kind of doing the keeping the eyes open thing, and I realized, oh, didn't update. Oh well. So let's talk about reading. I am about 35% the way through the audiobook of The Temptation of Magic. So far it's kind of giving Serpent and Dove vibes because we have this forbidden love, but already we can tell they're into each other. I did learn, at least in the audiobook, the guy's name is pronounced Kian. I was saying Kyan before. Don't know if I like that, but it doesn't matter. And something interesting about him is that when he hunts, whether it's a magical creature or whatever it is, that he takes on this form that's most dangerous to his prey. So if he learns that Nicole is really an Imperial and he has to hunt her, who knows what kind of form that would bring him to, because they are natural enemies and he doesn't know that she's an Imperial. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Physical reading, I read, how much? I read 14 more pages in A Dark Shade of Magic. I don't know. I feel like once I'm into the plot, really getting into it, then I will zoom through the rest. But I've just been in such a crafting mode that it's hard for me to sit down and really focus. But yeah, I'm going to go because Louisa Heinzel is doing a paper premiere for her new Poppy something or other kit that I'm excited to see, and I've got lots of stuff to do. So I'm having fun so far with this 31 and 31 challenge. I hope you're enjoying the vlogs, and I am going to just say again, it really helps if you guys will leave comments and stuff on the videos. And I'm not talking just about the algorithm, because it does help with that, but for my like well-being and my desire to continue going with YouTube. Having people comment and engage really helps me feel better about what I'm doing and what I'm putting out there. So if you have a minute to leave a comment, that would be awesome. Or if you're not sure what to leave, you can leave me a shark emoji because Shark Week starts. Ta-da-da-da. So yeah, we'll see you soon. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading, crafting, or journaling. Adios.